Hello everyone and welcome, and thank you Colin for joining me in his lovely shop at RunVenture in Tavistock.
Hello Adam, how are you? All right?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Good. Adam's here to come and look at some shoes. Adam obviously does a lot of running, and the last thing he thinks about is his footwear. He just enjoys the running. So what we're going to do is have a look and see what type of shoes there are, what sort of things Adam would like, what he doesn't like, and what sort of shoes fit his feet. Adam, what type of shoe would you normally look for? What do you want from a shoe?
I want a shoe that will support my feet and not cause any injuries.
Any injuries, so
Yeah.
easy. And something that probably, because you run quite quick as well, so you want something that's going to make you run fairly fast, I would have thought.
Yeah, well that's come with obviously years of practice, so I've got faster.
So things I look for, first of all, are you running on road or are you running on trail?
I do a bit of everything, so
Bit
that's
of
why I need different shoes for different elements.
Different shoes. So you go to the back of your car and choose whatever shoe is applicable to whatever surface you're running on.
Definitely.
What sort of thing is the most important thing for you for a road shoe?
When I started off, it was just generally comfort, making sure that it didn't hurt me, I wasn't getting blisters.
Okay.
Simple.
I tend to look at people's biomechanics and what I think is better shoe for them, whether they are a steady long distance runner or a sprinter. Obviously you're fast whatever distance you do. The thing you've mentioned there was comfort. To me that is the most important thing. If you're in a comfortable shoe, then the rest of it will just happen as we go. Different shoes have different widths, different drops, so that's the differentiation between the height and length. You've probably run in a plethora of different types of shoes.
I'm not obviously going to name any shoes, but I have had ones that have been wider that I didn't like, some that are, I don't know how the depth of the front slightly lower. Or
Yeah, they're all, there are zero drop shoes, sort of like a more natural running gait, sort of towards that barefoot running market. Then there's heavily built up shoes, the shoes with rockers, shoes with carbon fibre, plastic bits in them all over the place. Corrective shoes. I would think you were a neutral runner, so your gait, having seen your gait, is quite a long stride.
It is.
But you've got a neutral gait.
I know I am a neutral.
I'd put you in a neutral shoe anyway. I'm not massively keen on corrective shoes. I just let people's body do what they naturally do. Okay, so Adam's looking for something, like we mentioned before, something that's going to be quite quick. We both have slightly different takes on what we think is a quick shoe. I think that a shoe that is just comfortable, is quite flat, quite responsive of the ground is the way forward. You come from a different point of view.
I agree with that, but also from a mental side of things, I think that colour can also help, even though it has nothing to do with it. It's a mental side. So something bright like this I would like out of all these, or
something along the lines of this type of shoe.
Definitely.
Very bright. I get that. It's when you get dressed to race, you want to put your game face on, you want to put your nice club vest on.
You want to feel comfortable, and knowing that the shoes are bright, or it gives you that more happy feeling.
Yeah. Okay, so lots of shoes available. So you've looked at a trail shoe. That's a trail shoe, a fast trail shoe. Other shoes are available, and again,
Definitely.
Comfort is the key. What I mentioned, something that was a fast shoe, something that was quite low to the ground, something that had a little bit of responsiveness. So
I
you can
have
actually
tried
feel the ground.
these, so I do agree that they worked well for me.
Yeah, there's pros and cons with every shoe.
Yeah.
Choosing a shoe is really subjective, so what's good for you may be completely different for one of your competitors.
Definitely.
Depends on your feet, depends on your feel, and there's pros and cons with every sort of shoe as well. Here's another example, another brand shoe. This is generally a racing shoe. It's quite light. There's a minimal amount of stuff on it.
It's really light.
It's really light. Yeah, it's not something I'd like to run a very, very long distance in. Not at my speed anyway, probably your speed's fine. But again, so with a faster shoe, you are looking at as light as possible type of shoe. But again, something that's comfortable, and something like you said, generally something you actually like wearing, and something that makes you think, yeah, I can actually run fast in this type of shoe. Running is seen as free. If you talk to my wife, it is not free at all. Your probably wife's exactly the same. But cost of running shoes are generally going up. What do you think about the cost of shoes? What's your take on it?
So growing up, I had to do a paper round to earn money to get shoes, so I always picked shoes that were less money. For example, I did a marathon abroad, and it was in a £17 pair of shoes.
Bargain.
Yes, I won that marathon. The shoes were fantastic, they worked, But I did find out recently after I started doing a longer distance, that the comfort would wear out sooner.
Yeah, sure.
Where a more expensive shoe I've had has lasted longer.
Okay. Generally, brands are going now into the faster sort of stripped down shoe that's lighter, has less to it, is generally cheaper. But as you say, doing your high mileage training, probably better in something that's a bit more durable, comfort, and then change, like we mentioned before about the racing shoe being something your game phase, something you want to go fast in. Just reserve that for racing.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't need to spend, like you said, the more money doesn't necessarily make you faster. That's a complete fallacy. Obviously, it's the athlete inside the shoes is going to make you quickest. Yeah, don't just be blind and buy money is my advice. If it's like a £300 shoes, and you're not going to win the London Marathon unless you've got the right materials to do that. But yeah, so that cost does come into it when you're choosing a shoe. But again, like we mentioned before, it's really subjective. I'd rather be somebody in a more reasonably priced shoe if it was comfortable than a shoe that had all the whistles and bells.
If my shoes had bells, people would definitely hear me coming.
I'm just going to come in now just with a little bit of a clinical point of view from this. And to be honest, this is great because I'm going to pretty much agree with everything that's already been said. So from a point of view of when you're looking at shoes, it is incredibly important to look at what you want, what you need, and what just feels good for you. It is no good looking at someone like Adam, looking at Eliud Kipchoge, or anyone like that and saying, what are they wearing? Or, well, I must wear them, I'm going to have exactly the same performance benefits, because you're just not going to. As Colin and as Adam have just said, comfort is king. Now, if we go to the research, and as I promised you right from the beginning, this is something that's going to be absolutely critical to what I talk to you about, is the evidence and the research. Now, yeah, the evidence and the research up until very recently has been pretty strongly as we can have in this area. It's been said comfort is absolutely key. But we're going to come to this in a few weeks' time. There's been some new research that's just come out that may just challenge that a little bit. But still, we're going to look at comfort. It's important. If you haven't got a comfy pair of shoes, are you going to want to go for that long run? Or are you going to want to go and do that speed work? Probably not. But we'll look at everything in sort of moderation and looking at it across the board. So from a point of view of shoes in terms of speed, again, comfort still comes in king. Some people talk about how light a pair of shoes is. Yeah, that's going to have some impact. But again, comfort is key. So we'd always recommend some things here. You've got to try the shoe on. So you can find a great local shop like RunVenture in Tavistock or wherever you live. Yes, of course, you can buy online, and there are some retailers out there which will do a free return, so you can try lots of shoes on. Whichever way you do it, it is important to try the shoes on and try what's right for you, because if you don't, you could end up with something that's going to be not quite right for you. And as we've discussed, we all agreed?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got to be right for you. Okay, so we're going to discuss this, I'm sure, a lot more in future. We're going to look a bit more about how gait can affect things and how gait doesn't affect things, and very importantly there, and how your stride length and how your cadence is so important or not important, as we're going to discuss in later editions of this. So, I think from all of us, we're all agreeing comfort's king. What's right for you is what's right for you, and what makes you fast is what's right for you.